Hey, just coming on here all impromptu like I do. I know it was late. I'm not intending to stay on super long. I'm just trying out some new tech and wanted to see how it worked out. So if you up and you're not doing anything, hopefully you're jumping in here with me. I'm gonna give you a little bit. Baby G is right here sleeping. And just in case he woke up, I wanted to like do this in here. Plus, I'm kind of tired, so I don't want to go too far to get back in the bed myself. Hey, Rachel Faye, how you doing, boo? Check out my new tech. Ah, it's my new tech I'm trying out. I've been watching other people's YouTubes, and I'm like, I want to know how to do that. Hey, Mika T. Hey, Shar. Hey, Giovanna. 14 months and 5 weeks pregnant again. Oh my gosh, congratulations. Due in December, yes. Get that extra dependent for your taxes in 2022. Okay. I hope everybody's doing okay. Y'all can hear me good, right? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Y'all let me know. Yes, okay. Giovanna responded, so you can hear me. Yes, get that second dependent. Yes. Yes. So, oh goodness, it's been a little crazy. And uh I'm coming on. What do you mean, Mika T? I'm coming on. Thanks, Giovanna. Um, yeah, so it's been a little crazy around here. And I've been trying to work on this is a little tilted. Let's straighten that up. All right. So I've been trying to work on getting out these older videos, but work has been crazy and Baby G has been home with me um from during the day because my sitter has been out of commission. So he's been home with me for like the last 3 weeks. So, okay. Thanks, Mika T. Thank you. All right. So he's been home with me for the last 3 weeks because my sitter had a surgery on her leg March 16th. And she had her pre-op the Friday before that. So that was like March 12th. So Baby G has been home with me since March 12th. So the week after her surgery, on that Tuesday, I think that's the 24th. Uh, she texts me and she said Baby G could come back. She said, I just got my stitches out. Baby G can come back tomorrow, as in Wednesday and Friday, but not Thursday because she had another follow up appointment. Now, I'll say she had her surgery and then she ended up in the hospital because of a complication. But she said she was okay to watch him that Wednesday. So I had a bad experience with a leg surgery where I got my stitches out and then I went to physical therapy and the doctor didn't tell me I had an internal stitch and physical therapy put me on a bike where I then popped my internal stitch and then my wound opened. So I was more concerned about her chasing around a toddler and injuring herself or opening her wound and then her needing to spend more time out because she's nursing an open wound. So I told her, I said, are you sure you want me to, like, if you really want me to bring him, I can bring him, but I think you should take some more time to heal. And so she's like, no, I know you need to break and, you can bring him. And I'm just like, I'll survive, it's not that big of a deal. So then she says, okay, well, you keep him on Wednesday. I'll have my appointment on Thursday. But if you really need me on Friday, you can bring him. And I'm like, okay. So Thursday night, she texts me and was like, are you going to bring him Friday? And I just decided to keep him home on Friday. So then Friday, she texted me and said, um, I'm so glad you didn't send him on Friday because my daughter came downstairs. She said she was feeling sick and she was feeling warm and she threw up her lunch and said she couldn't taste her lunch. And I guess that freaked her out. So her and her daughter went to go get tested and they both tested positive. So there happened to be an instance where a good deed, me being more concerned about her healing properly, actually worked in my favor instead of being punished for it. So now they both had tested positive of having baby G. So we're 1 week into that. And then she texted me this morning to say that she was in the hospital with that thing, COVID pneumonia. So I don't know what that means. And then she told me that her husband tested positive today, which means which means at least an additional week of her house quarantining before she can invite the kids back. So I'm looking at not one additional week, but at least 2 additional weeks of baby G being home with me. So I am going out of my mind with him home all day and me trying to work. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Hey, sure, no problem, no problem. Hey, silly mommy for life. Yes, it's been a long time since I went live. um, yes, email me or DM me. I got new tech, y'all, so now y'all can see what I'm reading. Yeah, Mika Z, it wasn't so much my intuition. I was just really concerned about her healing because I didn't want her to be out longer, and then me not sending him on Friday was more like, what's the point of me paying for one day? Friday was sort of a light day as far as meetings went for me. So it was just an easier day to keep him home. And so I just wanted to keep him home. There's a lot going on with her. I'm not trying to tell all her business or anything like that, but I'm almost sure she caught it from the hospital. And I just hope I'm praying for all of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just praying for all of them. And not just for my own selfish reasons because I need a sitter, but because, this is a serious thing and, I don't want anybody feeling ill or losing anybody, it's 2020 was a rough year. 2021 does not need to be any more rough. All I wanted out of 2021 was just some peace and calm time, like just an uneventful year. You know what I mean? So I just want everybody to be okay. I just want everybody to be okay. They find out my 2-year-old's in childcare is always sick and I have to try to work from home and it's always an epic fail and stressful. Yes, because I feel like I'm on a lot of customer meetings and I have to talk a lot. Like it's different where I'm on a meeting, I can just sit on mute. But I'm on meetings a lot. He's playing. So if it's not him, he's become incredibly vocal. Like he thinks he's talking. It's just gibberish, right? He thinks he's talking. And I just, I want to encourage that. I'm a talker. So I know he's going to be a talker. So I don't want to like shush him. But he likes to scream and but if it's not him, it's his toys. I just want to turn the off button on all these toys that make all this noise. And I find myself constantly apologizing, and everybody's okay because of the state of the world. Everybody has their kids home and all of that, and they totally understand this. I mean, it's at the point where my coworkers are on meetings and they're saying hi to him when I'm on the call or he'll say something, when we're talking about something, and they'll be like, yep, and the baby agrees, or something like that. So, people, I guess, are accustomed to pets making noise on meetings, and now we're accustomed to kids making noise on meetings. And I mean, I guess it could be worse. I could be on video, but I'd be looking like this. You know what I mean? So good thing I'm not on video where they see me chasing him around and whatnot. But usually I'm pretty good about the mute. But I have been incredibly frustrated with him because he knows when I'm on the computer and he knows when I'm on the phone, and that's when he acts up the most because he wants my attention. And he'll try to knock my phone out of my hand, or he'll try to close the laptop. It's just a mess. And so sometimes I'm in back to back to back to back to back to back meetings. It's hard to get myself fed, let alone try to get him fed. And the only way to stay sane is to get him out of the house sometimes. So this is tough. It's just tough. Let's see. I limit my interaction with anybody who's been in the hospital, regardless of why the chances of being infected. Secondary to what they're admitted for are just too high. Yes, absolutely sure. Any more baby plans in the future? Yes. Yes. I've always said I wanted to start trying for baby number 2 this year. The original plan was to start in January. That got delayed with my niece's passing, which I am still grieving heavily. So I thought it was just going to get pushed off until April, but then I didn't get the weight loss I wanted to get because I've just been sitting back here getting fat, y'all. I got to lose a whole other 35 pounds if I'm going to do this. So just trying not to be fat anymore, or at least drop enough weight that I'm not getting this from the doctor. You know what I mean? So because I'm going to be seeing a new RE. So I don't want that speech. You know what I'm saying? And so I need to get closer to the weight. So I haven't made any appointments yet, but I'm baby stepping it. I started taking my supplements again. I'm over 2 months in on the supplements. I started trying to get active again. And now that I have a good cadence with the supplements and getting active, now it's time to work on the weight, which is, well, all of this is to work on the weight, but the diet makes the most difference. So now I'm trying to work on that. But now it's April, and if I'm going to drop the weight, I want the 3 months. And so now I'm sort of pushing things back to July-ish, and to give myself 3 months. So that's the entire month of April, May, June, and hopefully starting IVF in July. If I don't make it by July, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it this year because I only want to pay one deductible. I don't want to have to pay 2 of them. So thanks to Baby G, my deductible is like $3,000 now. So I only want to pay one. And I only got about 2 more IVF retrievals in me. I don't know if I'm going to need to, but just in case I need to, I want to do them both in the same year if that's going to happen that way. At any rate, I want to see if I can get things started by July. But I gotta get some things on the ball. So I'm working on it. I'm back in regular acupuncture. So I just had my first of what will be weekly acupuncture on Friday. So that was awesome. It was awesome. So I'm just grief and work and my baby being home. I'm behind again. I'm feeling behind the mark again. So I'm just trying to get there. Baby steps. I still got a lot of appointments to make. But the plan is still there. I'm hoping I don't have to push this off until next year. because I'm just going to be that much older, right? Like my birthday's next week. I'll be 41. That makes me officially 3 years older. Like baby G was a 38-year-old egg. He's now be 41-year-old eggs. I needed to go right. I needed to go right. All right, Shar. New donor or paying to get yours out of retirement. I actually, it's the same donor. I don't have to pay to get him out of retirement. I think I said in a previous video. I don't even know which one, but for a sibling. So while he's, I guess, retired or out of stock, technically they still had some in the back, and so they were able to make some IVF vials for me, and so I got a couple of those vials on the low. It's their regular price for IVF vials, but IVF vials are actually really cheap. So compared to ICI vials or IVI vials. So I got a couple of IVF vials. You have to buy them in pairs. So I just got two. And hopefully we can make it work with that. So that has been in storage for almost 6 months now. Well, actually over 6 months, close to like 7 months. So hopefully I can get things straight with this new RE and not have to pay, but I'm probably going to have to pay because I think that storage is coming up. I'm probably going to have to pay for another 3 months of storage on it. But if I can get a baby out of these vials, that baby would be a full sibling. Best sleep in acupuncture. Yes, Mika T. I've always referred to acupuncture as the most expensive nap I've ever taken, but it's the best. The best. Yes, acupuncture helps with fertility. Now, can I say acupuncture got me my baby? I can't say that with 100% certainty because I was on acupuncture the entire time I was TTCing, including doing acupuncture at least a year before I even started TTCing, right? But if it's supposed to help with blood flow, and it can help sort of regulate your hormones, definitely with blood flow to your reproductive organs. And if nothing else, stress, right? I originally started going to acupuncture for stress relief, right? I didn't even know it could help with fertility. That was just something I said I was gonna do. At some point, I started going for stress relief right after my fibroid surgery. So, which they also said it could also be used for healing as well with the surgery, but I don't think I used it for that purpose. I think I waited a while after my 6 weeks before I went. I probably wasn't like a true believer then, which is why I didn't go. But yeah, so I have been doing maintenance acupuncture since I gave birth, but not like the weekly acupuncture that I was doing while I was TTCing. So I'm trying to get back into going to acupuncture once a week to get that cadence and get everything like back in order, help with my stress, help open up things. You know, there are points for like your immune system and all of that. So they're just like boosting things. They can boost certain organs if they're having trouble and all of that too. So it's good for a lot of things, pain relief, all of that. So you can get all that worked on at once just because you're going for and get fertility as a bonus, you know, if you want. Hey, I'm his queen. How you doing? ATK Singleton. Some in the back. What do you mean? Rachel, some oh oh yeah. Some vials in the back. Yep, they keep them in the back. Apparently they're supposed to, right? Because there's a number of reasons why they might take a donor off the shelf, so to speak, right? So one of them is he's maxed out his number of families, which California Private, I think, is 25 families. So he may have maxed out his number of families. That's one reason to take him off. Another reason could be he just decided he sold out, right? And he didn't want to come back and give any more specimens. He was a very popular donor. And from what I understand, he only came the one time and he had no interest in coming back, which I kind of heard through the grapevine, not officially from the cryobank. So, but when they start to get low, they do keep some in the back because they know people come back with for the siblings. They tell you to buy, right? Because they can't guarantee, but they do keep some back there. But if they have to take him, off the shelf because he's maxed out his families, then for sure they're not going to discard it. They're going to hold on to those in case somebody who has a sibling already is looking for more. Because when I called, they made it seem like, well, first the girl made it seem like he was sold out. I would have had to pay for him to come out of retirement. This is that and the other, which is like $3,500. And then I mentioned to her that I was doing IVF, and she was like, well, let me talk to my manager. Now all of a sudden I mentioned a super expensive procedure, and all of a sudden you can talk to your manager. Before you had nothing for me, and I already said that I, registered my pregnancy, I registered my birth, and I even registered for the sibling registry. So it's not like it's not on record that I bought him before. Crazy, but they made it seem like I can get as many vials as I wanted. So if you have to make the IVF vials, that tells me you have some of those regular vials back there. I don't know how many they have, but they made it seem like I can get as much sperm as I wanted. And I was like, I only need 2. That's good. Give me the 2. Let me pay for storage and go on by my way. Yeah, so I have that, and it'll be interesting. I mean, I've said before that, I've been in contact with some of the other moms. Probably most of the other moms that I know that have had babies with this particular donor. Some of the moms weren't interested in participating in our group. Who knows how many others? And then California Cryobank, I think they do also make some of the donors available in the UK as well. So who knows? There might be some other moms in the UK that we don't know about, right? So that's how that's going. So how y'all doing? It's Easter weekend. Easter Sunday is tomorrow. I don't particularly celebrate Easter. We'll call it a religious handicap. I don't know. I'm growing up J-Dub, but I do recognize that it's around that time. Growing up, my birthday almost always fell on like Good Friday. But Easter has, shifted a little bit. So, but I used to always have my birthday off of school because it always coincided with like either Good Friday or sometime during our spring break, which was always around Easter. So hopefully you all are doing okay. Mm. Did it freeze? Y'all still out there? I don't know. I've been so tired. I feel like I fall asleep so much earlier. Like usually I'm in the bed with baby G. Like he's asleep now. He fell asleep sometime around 8:30, kind of puts himself to sleep these days. 8:30 is a little early for him. He might wake up once, maybe around 11, 12, maybe even 1 a.m. But if I'm asleep by then I'll try my best to get him back to sleep. He usually goes back to sleep pretty quickly. Do I miss my cruises? Well, you know what? I've lived here 15 years, a little over 15 years. I've only been on 2 cruises. And my very first cruise I took was in 2017 for my birthday, right before I started TTC. And my second cruise was the one I took right before the FET for baby J. So those are the only 2, unless you want to count the casino cruise that's down here in the Cape. And then in 2005, I went to Egypt, and there was a cruise, a part of that trip, a cruise down the Nile River, which is not exactly cruising like being on Carnival or something like that. So I don't really count that as a cruise, but technically it was a cruise. But I miss traveling. I do miss traveling. I have not been on a plane in all of this, pandemic. So my family up north has still not met baby G in person, and that's kind of depressing. Now that my niece is gone, I don't have any family here. So that kind of sucks. So but I send pictures up north, and I haven't been very active on social media, like even like my personal Facebook. I've not done much. I've not really. I think the last pictures of him that were on social media were like when he was around like 10 months old. So there haven't been any updated pictures of him even there. So you guys probably have the most recent stuff if you follow me on Instagram. That's about it. I just really haven't been very active, and I apologize. But I don't know, emotionally I'm just kind of dealing with a lot, and I've been telling people that I've diagnosed myself as like functionally depressed because I managed to get up and I can go to work every day and I'm keeping my baby alive and all of that. But aside from that, I'm not great, So it's just been tough. And so interacting with other people is difficult, it's difficult for me. Came back to Jamaica just in time for an all island lockdown. Oh, are y'all still locked down? For sure. Hopefully you're not still locked down. What's the I'll be interested in what the um here goes the mommy brain. Sorry, this is what I deal with every day this fall. The vaccinations. Like I'm always interested in what vaccinations look like in other countries. Would you like a girl next time? I would love a girl next time. That's my ideal situation. One boy, one girl, and I think I was fighting so hard for a girl originally first because in reality I wasn't sure if I could handle two on my own, financially, emotionally, or physically, but it's good, we got it covered. I can make it work. As much as I Uber Eats, I'm basically paying for childcare as much as I Uber Eat right now. I'm like paying more than what I pay in childcare every week. So if I can make that work and still remain afloat, I can have another kid, right? So I hope, but I don't know if y'all did the math on my 6 embryos that were PGS tested. Only one of them was a girl, and that was the one that failed with my first FET. So out of 6 blastocysts, 5 were boys and 1 was a girl. So the odds are against me. But I would absolutely love a girl next time. Don't know if I'll get it, but sometimes God gives us what we need, not necessarily what we want. And he certainly knew what he was doing when he gave me baby G, So who am I to complain? Who am I to complain? Yes. Yeah, the Now cruise was good because it went from Luxor south to Aswan. And I think we made maybe 1 or 2 stops in between. So that was cool. And then there was like a little party. We got to dress up, you know, in traditional garb. Unfortunately, that particular night, I was getting over being sick. I got sick around day 4 on that trip. I don't know. I think day 2, I had cereal with like room temperature milk. Don't even ask me where the milk came from. I think that's what made me sick. So I caught a little bug the night before, and that was our opportunity to get the garb. So my friend who I was on the trip with was able to buy like the garb for me, and then I was able to participate and stuff. But it was a good time, really good time. Let's see. Did you already say if he's in childcare or do you have an at-home nanny? No, he's in childcare. He goes to a private sitter. So he goes to someone's home. She does watch some other kids. I think she had like 5 kids on her roster. Um, she had a set of twins who were leaving, and then that's what made an opening for him. And then the twins came back, and I think she got a little overwhelmed. But then we had, he was like in a diaper rash situation, but that got worked out. But then now the twins have left, so I think there's him. There's another little girl, and sometimes her older brother is there, and then there's a second girl. So at least 2 other kids that are there regularly with him. Let's see. Would you move back to Philly? Easy to the know. We'll just hope to create a local network when things settle. I hate for you to feel isolated and such reported. The fact of the matter is I've been living here since 2005 when I moved here. My niece did not move down here until 2012. So I was here for like almost 7 years by myself, right? With no family. So it's not like I've never been without family before. So that doesn't so much bother me. I have family closer to Philadelphia. Like I've got family in Georgia and Atlanta. I've got family in Texas. I've got family in North Carolina. I've got family in South Carolina as well. So it's not like I don't have family nearby. It's just, I don't know, I guess when my niece moved here, while I was perfectly fine living on my own, I think, there's something to be said when you have blood around, you know what I mean? And like close blood, my niece was only 7 years younger than me. And, she wasn't the easiest person to live with, but, we were family at the end of the day, so, you kind of get used to that. And she lived with me for 6 years and then she moved out. Was I happy that she moved out? Absolutely. Absolutely. And she didn't live close, and considering she was here in Florida, she didn't come visit us that often either. So, and it's not like I went and visited her that often. So, it's just something to be said that just having family close. Like if during the holidays, if you really want to be with somebody else, you don't have to go that far. And I think, not having any other family, kind of being left to grieve by myself again, right? I've had a lot of loss over the years, and over the last 10 years or so, all the loss that I've experienced, I've always had to grieve alone. And by alone, I mean no other family members involved, no significant other, involved. It's not, I've made friends here, but like the closest people that I got to here moved away, right? They moved away from here. And I'm very good at making new acquaintances. Sorry, the cat just jumped up on the bed and shut the camera. I'm very good at making new acquaintances. I'm very bad at making new and true friends, and that's what I have to get better at, making new and true friends. And that requires me to open up, and I have trust issues, right, that extend all the way back to my childhood with my friendships back then. So it's just really hard for me to open up to new people. I've tried to use like the Peanut app, which is what I had hoped to do like during my maternity leave, which was kind of build my mom tribe, right? And then the pandemic happened. So that kind of put the kibosh on meeting new people and getting to know them out in public and all of that. So it's hard. It just makes it that much harder to meet new friends. And baby G's age, right? I know people who have children, but these children are like at least 3 years older than him, at least, so it's a little different hanging out. Well, no, not at least 3. I think I have one who's less than a year older than him, but her mom, is kind of on the road a lot. Her schedule doesn't it doesn't really coincide with having like regular outings or anything like that. But then also because she works in the medical industry, she's also very careful about, certain things that she's doing and stuff during this time. So it's just hard. It's hard for everybody. Really hard for everybody. I'm going to take it. We were so patiently waiting for my 12-week mark to hit after my myomectomy procedure to start back on my PCC journey. Oh, don't rush it. Just take the time, prepare your body, maybe do a little acupuncture to help things along. If you got weight to lose, focus on that, or, take your supplements. The longer you take your supplements, the better things go. Like, use this time to, prepare. Use the time to prepare. Me too. 6 embryo, 2 girls, 4 boys. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. That's why, like, people say, oh, IVF, oh, you're just trying to make a designer baby. Well, the reality is you don't just get to pick, I want a boy, I want a girl, right? That's what you get at the end. That doesn't mean, like, I think I've given this example before. Like, I watched Teen Mom, and Kaylin and Tyler, if you watch Teen Mom, when they first joined their first child, they placed for adoption. And so they've stayed together all these years. And it's now been like over 12 years, I think now, or 15. Has it been 15 years yet? Probably almost 15 years now. And so they've stayed together, and they're married and all of that. And so they have 2 girls. So technically they have like 3 girls. And I think they want another baby, but Tyler wants a boy, and so they talked about going to do IVF to do what they call family balancing, right? But the doctor basically said, look, you may get these embryos and all of them be girls. Then what will you do? You're trying so hard to get a boy. And so Caitlin didn't want to pay all that money on a maybe. She's like, I'm not going to pay $25,000 for a baby. And they've got the money. Okay. So it's just like, well, I think that's something that comes out real easily when you can have a baby naturally with no problem. That was my reaction. Because I think my initial reaction was like, the nerve, but then I was like, she's had these babies naturally. It came very easy for her. I think if I were in her position, I would probably say the same thing too. So sometimes you got to meet people where they are. But it's not about designer babies unless you know how to spin out the girl sperm from the boy sperm to make sure all you're putting in is, all you're fertilizing with is the gender that you want. There is a method for that too, but that's also very expensive. So it's tough. It is tough. We were doing great with keeping numbers down until they reopened the airport. And then we've had a surge, while I was away. Yeah, I mean, Florida's no better. I ain't gonna say what I really feel about our governor, but let's just say I ain't the happiest with him. And I feel like he's incredibly greedy. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm sure Big Brother's watching. I don't want them to magically shut us down all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Vaccines are slowly coming in for folks and the elderly. It's harder for smaller poor countries to get a hold of any vaccines. Basically, pharmaceutical companies are the devil. And the richer companies are making side deals. Okay, and let me also mention that apparently Florida's governor is under investigation for being part of such side deals. Okay, because he, in my opinion, he has not been very focused on like masks and shutting things back and not anything else. So even though our numbers are still like 5,000 new cases a day with over 5% positive rate, he's not doing anything to try to turn that around. Restaurants are still open, theaters are still open, and I'm not talking about just outside dining. I mean inside dining as well. And he's not looking at shutting anything down. As a matter of fact, he wants them to open up the port so the cruises can start. because they're doing cruises out of the Bahamas, so he wants to do the cruises out of here too. It's about the revenue. It's not so much about safety, you know, and he's pushing these vaccines. So now the vaccines are available. I think last week they were available to people 40 and up here. And now I think it's 16 and up coming soon, like maybe starting next week, something like that. I think they're going to do 16 and up on the vaccines here. So Florida's probably like 80% old people here. So it's been a lot of focus on getting the older population vaccinated, but you know, didn't stop them from having a Super Bowl here in Tampa. They didn't shut anything down regarding spring break. You know, Miami is a really huge hotspot, and nothing was happening there. You know, so it's just, I don't know. I don't know. We're not doing so great here. I'm not following it as closely as I used to, but you know, I get that I'm friendly, but as an adult, definitely no new friends. Yeah, friends are hard. It's really hard to make friends as an adult, you know, and I only brought really 3 close friends. Well, actually, out of college, I was down to 2 super close friends from childhood, you know, and you know, I lost one of them during the TTC process. So I'm down to like 1 childhood super close friend, you know, so it's just hard. It's hard to trust people, especially women. I hate to say that, but it's true, you know, it's hard to trust. So, women are shady. I've always felt that way. Women are shady. They are, but we're also amazing at the same time. So it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Mika T, what supplements am I taking this time? Same ones I was taking before. My big bag of supplements is on the other side of the room. I'm too lazy to get up. I'll probably make another video. Lord only knows when that will come out. So I will try to run them down as much as I can remember. So, ubiquinol, PQQ, NAC, of course. I have a new supplement from my chiropractor that is a glutathione supplement. And so, you know, NAC is a precursor for glutathione. And so this is a supplement of glutathione that I guess you can only get either with a prescription or from a doctor. It's in a liquid form that I can take. It says up to like twice a day, something like that. So I've been doing that. I'm doing the L-arginine, arginine. I'm doing myo-inositol. I'm doing acetyl L-carnitine. I'm doing still magnesium, still the probiotics, still the prenatal B complex, vitamin D. I don't think hopefully I didn't leave anything out. If it did, it's one of those weird named ones. If I did, but that that video I did around Thanksgiving in 2018. Basically all of those supplements. I haven't added anything new aside from the glutathione supplement that I got from the chiropractor. That's probably the only new thing. I'm not taking ashwagandha right now, although ashwagandha was not about TTC. That was more about my stress level. And in the middle of the cycle, you know, especially with FET, ashwagandha can cause miscarriage or cramping and all of that. So you would have to stop, you know. But I'm back doing the acupuncture and I have the binaural beats and all of that great stuff. So hopefully that'll keep my stress in order. Let's see. Richard Glazer. Hello. Refuse to take the vaccine because my clinical pastor scares me through the power of prayer and liberal bias. Well, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. My maternal grandmother was a pastor, and she certainly believed in faith healing. So I totally understand that position. But that's your position. I'm not here to argue it. More power to you, buddy. Is 16 and up with Pfizer starting April 5th, or 18 and up for Johnson and Moderna. Oh, okay. All right. Hi, Donnie. I'm not that much into politics, so I don't know anything about Nick Gers, um, or the senator. So sorry, can't help there. I don't know anything about it. uh, hopefully, I'm not missing any chats, am I? Let me know if I missed, if you made a comment and I missed it. Hopefully, I'm not missing anything. Yeah. So it's been an interesting time. And I'd like for things to go back to normal. I'd like to feel like I can get on a plane, or I can get on the plane with my baby, and that's the thing. It's getting on the plane with the baby. There's no vaccine for him. So even if I'm vaccinated, he's not. So getting on the plane makes me nervous. And I feel a way about the vaccine. Not, you know, one, it's just not enough research, and with something that was put together so quickly, not saying it's not safe out here, but we really don't know what long-term effects are. I don't know what effect it might have on fertility. I don't know what effect it might have on, um, you know, any children I might bear after getting it. So for me, I just want to play it on the safe side. Hunts are no longer allowed. I don't know. In New York, hunts, you mean like animal hunting? I don't know. Best advice while going through IVF, planning to start early next year. Best advice while going through it. On your own, Carissa? Hi, by the way. Um, are you going through it on your own, or do you have a partner? Because then my advice might be a little different. Uh, sure. As far as vaccine, um, I honestly feel like I wouldn't want to be vaccinated until after I either decided I was going to stop trying to give birth, or have given birth and finished breastfeeding. I might change my mind on the breastfeeding thing, but I do have concerns with the effects on a developing child. And if I'm going to be breastfeeding, I don't know how I feel about the, I don't know how I feel about it, but I feel like maybe, I don't know. I really have to think about it a little bit more, maybe after I go through whatever egg retrieval, right? Once the eggs are out of my system, I'm not as concerned. Um, but I am concerned on the effects of it for developing child, right? A lot transpires, you know, in the early years of life. So, you know, I don't know. I think right now I definitely know I don't want to do it, and I know a lot of the REs are pushing it, and really want you to get it before you try to cycle. But in my honest opinion, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. Office, and they don't want you showing up asymptomatic and giving it to the rest of everybody else in their office. That's number one. Number two, these doctors also don't have to care for any kids that might have issues behind, these vaccines in the years to come. So They don't have a dog in the race as far as I'm concerned. So the opinion is nice, but it's not gold or the Bible in my book. So that's just how I feel about it. So it's not that I like, if I wasn't trying to get pregnant again and baby G is not breastfeeding, I would have no problems getting the vaccine. I'll put it that way. Um, just in general, I have a partner, but worried about the meds. Okay, so it's a lot of hormones, right? If you PMS, if you're like crazy during your cycle when your hormones are like changing and everything's kind of crazy during that time, you probably can expect to be a little bit crazy during the IVF. It's kind of hard to say how one's gonna react. I don't feel like I had any like short tolerance or anything like that. I think most of the stress I experienced while TTC was just because of TTC. You're worried that it's gonna work, or then you're worried that it's not gonna work. You know, you're spending a lot of money. It's a lot of stress. You know, it is as much of a financial burden, particularly IVF is, it is also an emotional burden and a physical burden. So if you have a partner, the best I can ask is that you let them know that you are going to need grace, okay? And that they need to do what they can to support you, even if that's just asking you what it is that you need, right? Because they may not know how to properly support you, and your friends and your family. If they ask how to support you, just like just ask me, what is it that you need me to do? Because and don't be afraid to say what it is that you need. Um, as far as the meds, the first shot is always the hardest. The first shot with the next biggest needle is always the hardest. It's not as bad as it looks. It's okay to be nervous, and set your timers, right? Because everything is by a clock. So set your timers, don't miss your doses. They're important. And, you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't think it would work. The reality is we do all of this for a big fat maybe. So it's important to remain grounded there. But there's no way to prepare yourself for when and if it doesn't. So just try to keep yourself grounded in the fact that it doesn't work all the time. But you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't think it could work. So just remind yourself of that. And the only thing else I can say to that is sticky baby dust, all the prayers, fingers crossed, fingers, toes, eyes, and hair braided, all that great stuff, arms, legs, and all the sticky baby dust. I wish you the best. Wish you the best. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have along the way. Anything I can do for the community, I'm here for it. Hopefully that helps, Carissa. Hi, 16 Candles. How are you? I'm doing okay. Trying to stay awake. I'm starting to get super sleepy. Get some water. So it's a lot, Carissa. It really is. It's a lot. I'm taking one of my supplements now. The myo-inositol is a powder, and just goes in the water. So as long as I finish the water, I got my dose. So it's tough. It's tough out here, and we all need as much support as we can get. We all need it. I'm just trying to support everybody. I know Simply Tanika, she's had her FET. We're waiting on her next video. I know Sandra Wiley is she's working on her. I know a few other ladies who are not on YouTube who are working on baby number 2 or baby number 1 right now. So it's a lot. I'm trying to be a support, where I can. And that's been difficult too, just trying to be supportive to other people because sometimes their cycles don't work out or there's a delay or, you know, it's just, when you're kind of going through your own stuff, but you still want to help people, makes you feel good to help somebody else. But at the same time, it is also draining, and it's that old habit where you kind of really don't take care of yourself, but you kind of take care of everybody else, and it's something I'm still learning to balance. Still learning to balance. Shade, Shar, shade, but also very true. PG will be 3. He probably will be by the time the videos come out. But no, I do want to come on here and do lives. And you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about like doing a new segment on my channel where I answer questions, right? So like people send me in questions and I just do an Ask TamikiaTT kind of segment. I don't know. And maybe I can do it live, but I kind of don't want to do it live because what if you ask me a question that I actually need to do research on? I don't know. So I haven't tried to like spark this off because I'm so behind with the videos, right? So I don't know. What do y'all think about an ask TTC segment? Or maybe I just do random, maybe I just schedule a regular live and it's just like a live session ask Tamika TTC. If I don't know, then I'll do the research and maybe try to answer it on the next one. But if it is something that I know, you know, I don't know. What do you think? You guys let me know. Yes, let's get these 2021, 22, 22 babies. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm trying to think if I was to if I do IVF in July, I probably wouldn't be able to do an FT until probably August or September because of PGS testing, probably. So, what's that baby doing? Sometime in the summer. Interesting. You like it? I like it too. I got all this knowledge in my head, and I feel like I try my best to help people when they ask me. You know, I don't want to be all up in your business and offering suggestion you don't really want. You know what I mean? But I don't pretend to know everything. But I tell people all the time that I know more about making a baby than I ever wanted to ever wanted to know. And I think especially for people who are like newly TTCing, um, they found my conversation very informative and helpful. I do want to do a video. I haven't filmed it yet, and that was what I wish I knew before going into TTC. I don't know if it's worth doing a different one for specifically for IVF, but there are a lot of things that I wish I knew going in. I probably would have done some things a little bit different. Questions I would have asked or questions that you should ask. But don't hold your breath. Wait, wait for that video. I'm still trying to catch up on a whole bunch of stuff. But that is a video that I want to do. Hopefully, I can sit down and do it. But I think I need to sit down and actually like put the thoughts together so that I can do the video. And so that makes that video that much harder to make instead of just sitting in front of the camera and filming. So I don't know. Make a post, ask the questions on IG or the community board and schedule a live for a few days later. Yeah, I could do that. That's a good idea. Thanks, Shar. Okay, Sky, you have to sit still. You're shaking the camera. Cat in the bed. Mm, yeah, totally do that. I don't know. See, that's the thing. The preemptive strike, all that stuff requires planning. the plans, that's what changes the plan. I'm so thirsty. I'm also on, my chiropractor's got me on this anti-inflammatory protocol, which I did do a video Friday. I filmed the video. Lord only knows when you're gonna see it, but I filmed the video on Friday talking about it. And I also said I would probably go live. So here I am going live. Hey. And it's like there's 3 different things in it. It's like one is turmeric, which we know turmeric is awesome and anti-inflammatory, and another one is like this Japanese root or something. I'm not exactly sure what it does. And the third one is vitamin D, vitamin A, magnesium. It's also got some EPA, DHA in it, and something else. So I did that video on Friday. So I started that. She gave me 2 samples of it. So you only just take it once a day. And I feel like that's been like flushing water. So that's probably why I feel so dehydrated right now. Well, I'm like so super thirsty. I want what I wish I knew in supplements list, especially for the over 30 crowd. Okay. Well, Shart, okay. Come on, now you're on the charging cord. Watch out, Sky. Sorry, y'all. She was laying on the charging cord because I'm trying to get my phone only has about 17%. She was laying on it and it was like making the camera do this. And then she just gave me a whole big kiss because I was trying to move her. All right. Yeah, the supplements list, it's not so much for over 30. The supplements is, a lot of it is just what your body may just need. And then some of it is just trying to get your eggs to the best quality your body can possibly get it, right? I'm about to be 41. There's no way I can turn my eggs into 20-year-old eggs, right? But the hope is that, maybe I can make them into like 38-year-old eggs, right? With the help of some supplementation. You just want them in the most tip-top shape. It's like, just like you might exercise to lose weight for TTC, taking the supplements is kind of like, putting your eggs through the gym, you know what I mean? So that they're preparing for TTC as well. And some of the supplements that some women might take because they're older, and the only one that comes to mind right now is like DHEA, but that you'll hear that a lot with a lot of older women taking DHEA, but DHEA can be dangerous. If you don't need DHEA, you should not be taking it, right? So it's important to know what your body needs versus what it doesn't. And it's also important to understand what the supplement is for and what it's doing, right, for your body. So like some women might take melatonin. That's another one. I personally don't take melatonin. I skipped melatonin, namely because it has interactions with my high blood pressure medication. So that's also something you have to consider. So it's hard to just give you a list of things that you should just take. And so you can just go shopping for them and start buying them. But you also need to compare what other people are doing, why they're doing it, and then check that with any interactions for any other medications that you might be taking as well. So just because somebody says, oh, this is great and it's working for me, doesn't mean that it works for you. So that's my disclaimer, right? I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not, you know what I mean? And I went through my first TTC. My RE could have cared less about supplements. I could have asked him about supplements. He just gave me a blank stare. When I tested positive for the MTHFR gene mutation, he wanted to just prescribe a higher level of folic acid. And I said, well, what about methylated folate? And he just gave me a blank stare, like he didn't know anything about it. And I'm like, okay. So I took his script, and then I kindly didn't I didn't feel it, because I knew I wasn't going to take the folic acid. But what's interesting is I had other doctors, like my endocrinologist, who saw the MTHFR, and he walked into the office with a picture of methylated folate, right? So there are some doctors who do believe in supplementation when they're into homeopathic remedies and all of that, but some doctors are just not into that stuff. So I could have ran him down my list of supplements, and he probably would have told me to stop taking all of them. But then when I went to my second opinion, RE, I ran down my list of supplements, and she basically okayed everything except the ashwagandha that I was taking at the time, only because she didn't know anything about it. So she had no problems with everything else. So that was kind of like my cosign that I was doing okay with my supplement. But my doctor at the time, he could have cared less. Some clinics are more on that end of things than others. So it's hard. So I never mentioned my supplements to him. I did it on my own. But I can be a bit of a defiant patient that way. I'm not suggesting that you go out and be what's the word? A vigilante. Oh, with your medical care. The right thing to do is let your doctor know what you're doing, whether they believe in it or not. I mean, but my RE at the time, he barely believed in the acupuncture. So, it's kind of like, I pay the doctor for his opinion. I don't always have to agree with it. You know what I mean? All right. Did your doctor's office allow you to transfer 2 embryos? I think he would have, but because they're PGS tested, that is not the industry standard. The industry standard is 1 embryo, especially if they're PGS tested. Are there doctors out there who will put more than 1 PGS tested embryo in? Yes. He did ask me if I wanted 1 or both. I didn't expect him to ask me that question because I know the SART, that's the government agency that kind of collects all the statistics for the clinics and whatnot. They have a standard, and that is 1. And when it comes to PGS tested, it's 1 across the board. As far as non-PGS tested, it's typically 1, unless the woman's older, then it starts to go up to like 2, 3, something like that, depending on history and all of that. But in general, it's like 1. However, if I were to, let's say, for instance, go through my next IVF retrieval and I only had 2 embryos make it to blastocyst, I would only do PGS testing if only because of the expense. Would I put 2 embryos in? No. I would still only transfer 1, but I wouldn't do the PGS testing, if that makes sense. Having the 2 transfers is still cheaper than paying for PGS testing on the 2. So that's what I would do there. I need an anti-inflammatory protocol. I can't eat any more turmeric. Oh, no, the protocol is a liquid supplement, right? But it is turmeric. I don't know. Hang on a second. I'll go get it, and maybe you can look it up. I don't know who else would carry it. I know my chiropractor is carrying it, but give me a second, and I'll go get it. Hey, JB, how you doing? Be right back. Hopefully the cat doesn't knock the camera down, and the baby's here sleeping, and he rolls a lot. So hopefully that doesn't knock the camera down either, but I'll try to be back really fast. Oops, sorry, cat. Sorry. All right, I'm back. Okay, so yeah, this is resveratrol. That's the third one. Whatever this is, I don't know what resveratrol does. Let's see that. I have the light. Come on, camera. There we go. Reservo, and this is Apex Energetics Nutritional Complexes. So this is Reservo Active K, like Kevin 76 liquid herbal supplement. So that's the first one. The second one is the Ultra D complex. So this was the come on camera. Right. This was the vitamin A. This is a little vitamin A. Vitamin D, B6, biotin, calcium, magnesium, EPA, DHA, and then ginseng from Japanese pagoda tree extract, rosemary extract, pant- panteth- mm, pantethine, protein, and boron, whatever these things do. And then the last one is the turmeric, which is it's light, man. It's something else. Turmeric. And this is basically just turmeric. Turmeric extract. Oh, turmeric and black pepper extract. And these have to stay refrigerated. And it's 5 mLs a day of all three. And what she suggests is that, you make these little shot cups. This is a 28 day. So she's got 28 days of shot cups. You put all three in, and then you just take a shot every day. It has to stay refrigerated. And it's a 28-day protocol. I haven't opened these bottles yet because, like I said, I had the 2 samples. And she says it's just the 28 days. That's what she suggests. And I think all of those cost me about $139 for the 28 days. So it ain't cheap, that's for sure. But the supplements are never cheap. The good ones aren't. All right, anyway. So hopefully it works, but I feel like it's like pulling water off me. It's supposed to help. I also invested in a few things that's supposed to help with like leaky gut. I'll do separate videos on those things. But she told me to like check to see if it's helping with any weight loss or anything like that. So I don't have anything else just yet. So I want to take this, see what my weight is doing. Well, I'll see what it's doing on Monday. I know what it was doing last Monday. We'll see if it's then when the other stuff comes in, the stuff will kind of start to overlap. And so hopefully all of it will just come together and make everything better. All right, Char. I'll take a list of supplements to research. Okay, give me a second. I will get you. Let me find that video, and then I'll put the list of supplements in the chat. That video, because they're in the video, but they're also they're listed in the description. So let me find that video really quick. I should have it on my computer, just somewhere easy, because I get this question a lot. Right before FET2. Here it is. let's see. It might be. You know what? I'll put it in as a comment to this video. Right. So he hasn't make a comment yet. Should be able to make a comment. I'm not making a comment here. That's weird. Should be able to. Let me refresh this page. Not to be able to make a comment. I'll put it in the comments because it's too long to put in chat. It's just gonna cut the text off. Oh no, I can't make a comment. That's stupid. Here's what I'll do. I will put it in the description of the video. And if you refresh now, you should be able to see it in the description of the video. How about that? So hopefully that's showing. Let me know if that's showing for you. If it's not, then it'll be there when we're done here, but it should be. Should be there. Yeah, it's there. I can see it. So hopefully you can see it too. All right. Oh, I didn't know you tested positive. Not for COVID, but for MTHFR gene mutation. Rachel. Hopefully that clears things up. Hey, New Zealand. Hey, Matilda. Happy Easter. It's an antioxidant. What's an antioxidant? Oh, resveratrol? Is that it? Okay. Okay, thanks. I know I heard it before. I just didn't know what it was. Hi, Hope and Victory. Hello. From tequila shots to turmeric shots. I'm getting old. Listen, turmeric is good for a whole lot of stuff. And my endocrinologist said if you got some achy joints or you got carpal tunnel, which I certainly had really bad while I was pregnant, get you some cherry syrup. They say that's good for like treating gout and all of that great stuff. Get you some cherry syrup. Put that in the shot too. I will say the 3 things I tasted it. You would think the 3 things kind of mixed in would probably be nasty or whatever. Actually, these supplements are actually really good, and the 3 things mixed up kind of tastes like it's got like one of the supplements is like slightly grainy, probably the turmeric, but it's kind of like a slightly grainy orange sickle. So it's actually a really good shot to like take. So hopefully it's working. I don't know. In TTC, everything costs. Yes. And I tell people routinely, I think in the thick of it, I was probably spending anywhere from like $300 to $400 a month in supplements, and yes, I had insurance participation, for the actual procedure, and that saved me a lot of money, absolutely. But I also spent a lot of money doing other things. But I guess that's my blessing, because people who are having to pay out of pocket for the actual procedures tend to not have the money to do the extra stuff. So, I don't take it for granted. I still spent a lot of money because I was trying to do so many other things to kind of help my process along. But I do also recognize that people who are paying out of pocket tend to not have the money to do the extra things. So, we all are just doing the best we can. Happy Easter, hope and victory. Woo. That's what I was talking about, the mutation. Okay, yeah. Before I knew that I tested positive for MTHFR, I switched my prenatal to one that had the methylated folate, just in case. I mean, 40% of the population has the mutation. right? So odds are, if you've not been tested for it, you may likely have it and just don't know, right? So I said, well, I may have it and just don't know. So I might as well switch my prenatal. And I switched the prenatal, and then I got the blood work done later, and it was like, oh, well, good thing I switched that prenatal. So it doesn't hurt, and also if you have the mutation, your B vitamins should also be methylated. So my B complex is a methylated formula as well. What supplements do I take? What really helped? Okay. It's hard to say what really helped. Hope and Victory, I was taking so many, and with each kind of failed cycle, I tacked new supplements on. So it was kind of hard to say what did the trick. My result didn't really change much, even adding the last bit of supplements. I wasn't on them very long to say whether they helped much, because my two retrievals were right behind each other. They were probably within 2 months. Yeah, because no, 3 months. I think they were in 3 months, because I did the first one in June, and I think I did the second one in August. So yeah, it was hard to say what like worked, but the heaviest hitters, I would say, if I had to pick and you didn't have as much money, my heaviest hitters would be ubiquinol, preferably with PQQ, because apparently ubiquinol works better when you're also taking PQQ. But ubiquinol, not to be confused with ubiquinone, myo-inositol, NAC. And then I would say the probiotic, of course, the prenatal vitamin D, if you're deficient. Most of us are. So you probably should be taking a vitamin D supplement and a B complex, because that's just good for you in general. Did I say the probiotic? The probiotic too, because your microbiome, and when I say probiotic, I mean a women's probiotic, because the embryologist talked to me about studies that were being done on the microbiome of the vagina, and it's the health of the microbiome. Microbiome is like the environment of good bacteria versus bad bacteria, and the health of the microbiome in regards to implantation and successful pregnancies for women. So there's something to be said there about a good woman's probiotic. So, and it kept me infection free during the whole pregnancy. I didn't have a single yeast infection, UTI, anything throughout my whole entire pregnancy. So doing something. FSA help for copays too. Yeah, I had FSA. I have an HSA now, so that's gonna help with my my deductible. So I don't think I'll have the whole 3,000 in there, but that's gonna help quite a bit. And when you have a HSA, you have to have a limited FSA, which I think limited FSA only lets you use it for dental and vision. So I have an HSA and a limited. Check the description. Hope and Victory. Yes, that too. I just put the whole list in the description. In case it's not in your description, Hope and Victory, refresh the screen and it'll be in there. What was the worst part of labor and delivery? I didn't have any labor. I was a scheduled C-section, and there was no worst part. I didn't experience a single labor pain. No contractions. I didn't even get Braxton Hicks, or none that I felt anyway. I had one non-stress test where the nurse said, yeah, you're having a contraction now. Do you feel that? And I said, absolutely not. I don't feel anything. That was the only contraction they caught during the non-stress test, and I didn't feel it. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I have some numbness due to my fibroid surgery and I'm just not feeling a lot. Well, I did feel baby G move. I didn't feel him kick a lot. I mostly felt him move. I didn't really feel him kicking. So a lot of that might be some numbness due to the previous fibroid surgery, and I just wasn't feeling it. It's not like I had a posterior placenta or anything. The placenta was on the right side. So I don't know. I just didn't feel anything. So wish I could help you there. I can't. I would have loved to have a vaginal birth. I did not want to be cut again, but the doctor only felt it safe if I went into labor on my own. And I didn't even dilate. I had a scheduled C-section at 38 weeks and 2 days. I wasn't even dilated. He was head down and in position, but not even a little bit. I talked to the midwife about having my membrane swept in an attempt to prompt labor, so that I could try a vaginal birth, because the doctor was willing to let me try vaginal as long as I went into labor on my own, but I wasn't dilated enough for her to sweep my membranes at my last appointment. So scheduled C-section it was. I wish. I mean, I don't want to say I wish. I mean, I had a dream pregnancy with him. I didn't have any nausea, no food aversions. Everything that I loved before, I loved during pregnancy. He loved all the spicy food that I ate, all the Thai food, all the seafood, all the shellfish. I didn't miss anything. I didn't have any cravings. I practically had to force myself to eat the first trimester because I wasn't hungry at all, But the only time that I felt the least bit nauseous was when my stomach was completely empty. That was it. Oh, I ate and that went completely away. I started to get hints of carpal tunnel in both wrists. It started off the worst on the right side. I think I have a touch of carpal tunnel in general, just based on what I do for a living. That kicked into overdrive when my swelling kicked in, but the swelling didn't kick in until after the week 35. So I only had about 3 weeks of the swelling of the feet and the ankles and all of that. I think the worst part about being pregnant was just all the monitoring, because I had a history of hypertension. I had to do a blood pressure log because I had the established insulin resistance. I was on insulin the entire pregnancy, and I had to do a blood glucose log, which required me to prick myself 4 times a day, so that was rough, especially in the beginning where I'm pricking my fingers 4 times a day, in addition to all of the IVF meds that I was taking. And because I had the SCH, the subchorionic hematoma early, I was doing 2 shots of progesterone and oil a day until I graduated from that. So that was probably the worst part. Like, the pregnancy itself, perfectly fine. The thought was that my insulin needs were going to go up as the pregnancy went on. That did not happen for me. My insulin needs actually diminished, and there was no trouble with my blood pressure at all during pregnancy. So they thought I would. They were watching me very closely for preeclampsia. Never, never, ever, ever once did I have any proteins in my urine. Never even got close. So that was that. I mean, after I gave birth to him, there was some issues they had with my blood pressure, but I'm not even sure that they were actual issues. I tend to have this situation where the machines read me high when my blood pressure is actually normal. And I think that was happening in the hospital because they put me on magnesium. They had me all night on the blood pressure protocol, and they couldn't get it under control. It's like the sun went down and my blood pressure went crazy. They couldn't get it down all night long, and then magically, 6:30 in the morning, it just returned to normal out of the blue. And it was like fine all day, and then it tried to do it again the second night, and I was like, nope, y'all not keeping me here extra night. Just start taking my blood pressure manually, and I was fine. So that's probably the worst part. But I kid all the time that his pregnancy was so it wouldn't throw me off a second pregnancy, and then my second pregnancy would be so horrible I'll never want to have another kid. I should probably stop putting that energy out to the universe. You're welcome, Open Victor. You're welcome. I'm already taking the alphabet at this point. B, C, D, E, elderberry, turmeric, probiotic, zinc, multi, etc. May as well get the rest of the letters. I hear that. I hear that. Open to a V back this time around. I am, but this close after having a C-section, I doubt anybody will let me. My uterus has now been cut twice. So I don't think anybody will let me. I guess if I, that being my first baby and the doctor saying, yeah, if you go into labor on your own by 38 weeks, nobody believed I would go into labor on my own by 38 weeks. Typically with your first baby, you tend to go longer, you pass your due date better than you'll go early. So, I mean, there might have been some thought about, maybe a weak cervix or something like that. My cervix held nice and tight. I carried him just fine. So I don't know. All of that is a worry. You know what I mean? All of that is a worry. You're scared to death. You go through this process. Lucky me. Yeah, lucky me. We'll see if I get lucky the next time around. This lucky anyway. Because I am also 3 years older, so that plays a bit as well. Maybe it wouldn't have been so easy if I was younger. Who knows? But I mean, I don't know. I think, sometimes, I firmly believe God plays a hand in all of it, right? I was going through so much at the time. Like, I think I needed an easy pregnancy. I mean, a tree fell on my house, for goodness sakes. I was 9 weeks pregnant when a tree fell on my house. My car, my car broke down quite a bit. Every time I was trying to save some money so I could be on my extended maternity leave, something was there to soak it up, so that was a major stressor that I was going through during my pregnancy. So, you start this process, and like I say all the time, my mom had 6 kids, her mother had 6 kids. My auntie, my mom's youngest sister, had 7 kids. Getting pregnant was not something that was supposed to be hard, right, for me. But boy, did I learn that lesson, right? This was supposed to be easy. Finding the man and, getting the baby daddy was supposed to be the hardest part. But that ended up being the easiest part, right? And then, 2 years of trying, and you start to think, is this even possible, for me? And then it happens. And because I've been in it for 2 years and watching other people's journeys and seeing how much can go wrong, then you start to worry about, is the baby going to make it? And then at 6 weeks and 1 day, I developed a subchorionic hematoma, and then the doctor tells you, you got a 50-50 chance of your pregnancy making it, and you need to go on, bed rest, basically. So you're like kind of freaked out, about that. And then you kind of cross that hurdle, and then you worry about whether you'll develop another one, right? Because you can do that as well. Like, just because that one resolved doesn't mean you won't develop another one. So you're worried the entire pregnancy, about that. And then you're worried because you're older, with that 20-week scan. All right, Kat, is your baby gonna be normal, and develop properly in the womb? And then you get past that point, and it's just like, okay, can I get this baby earthside? Like, there's so many steps, and to get through that, I just had to focus on the next hurdle. You get the BFP, the next hurdle is beta, then the next hurdle is beta number 2, then the next hurdle is the ultrasound and the heartbeat. And and then I didn't even make it to the ultrasound and the heartbeat before I got the SCH. And you get the SCH, okay, look, there's an ultrasound and a heartbeat. I got that early, but now I got this hematoma. And so the hurdle was for that to clear, or at least just to make it to the next stage of development. And then you're like kind of freaked out until you get to week 24, which is viability. And then you know, from there, it's just, you know, it's just a lot of like worry, and you learn to respect the process a lot more. You know, people were really quick with the congratulations, congratulations. And I found myself saying, well, I got a lot of hurdles between here and happy birthday. So it's like I couldn't even enjoy the congratulations because you're so worried about what could go wrong. And it's tough. It's tough. You work so hard to get there, and you see so many people kind of get the BFP and then not bring the baby home, you know, and it's heartbreaking and it's crushing. And you think you would relax once you get the BFP, you don't. It's just another level of worry, you know. So it's just, I'm not trying to scare anybody. This is just the reality of the situation, right? It's the reality, and it's tough. And I didn't want to be the kind of person who didn't bond with my baby because I was scared he wouldn't make it, right? Because that happens, right? That's life. That happens. Women who have experienced, you know, miscarriage at any level, you know, that's sometimes that hole that they fall into where they're so scared of the heartbreak that they don't bond. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to just enjoy where I was, be thankful for what I had, and focused on the next hurdle. And it helped that work was busy too. It's a great distraction. Um, how many children do I want? I always said if I had one, I would have to have two. I'm fine with two. I don't have to go any further than two. If I can get one more, I am great. Do I want to see twins the next time around? I don't think I can handle twins, and I hope God knows that. God knows that I can't, you know, there's always a possibility that maybe I can't handle a second and I might not get one. So that possibility is out there as well. Maybe I've missed my mark. I have no idea what my numbers are now. I do know that my fertility numbers were already on the decline in my second year of TTC. I just have no idea where they are now. So I know my cycles have been regular. Um, you know, that's it. You know, my cycles returned 11 weeks postpartum. I was so pissed about about that. But you know, they returned and that was that. And they were on the money, very regular. Took them a while, you know, it was like 30, 31 days, and then eventually, you know, eased its way back down to 28 days. And so I'm back to my 28-day on the clock, you know, kind of schedule. So everything's starting to return back to normal from all the postpartum stuff. You know, we're almost 18 months, almost 18 months postpartum. And, you know, my cycles are just kind of now getting back to normal from before I got pregnant. So your body goes through a lot, that's for sure. Right. Your pregnancy was easy, but your life, the tree, the car, the windshield, your shady BFF, you got the pregnancy you needed. Exactly. Exactly. I had so many other things going on. I don't think I could have taken a difficult pregnancy as well. Or maybe I could have, you know, I firmly believe God doesn't give you more than you can handle. So, but I say all the time, he sure does like to test the limits though. He sure does like to test the limits. And I think every little thing just kind of makes you stronger. And the other worry I have is what am I being made stronger for? Like, is there another bomb that's about to drop? And then I lose my niece. I feel like that's the bomb that I might have been primed for so that I could manage, you know? It's hard to say, you know, only God knows the day and the time, right? So it's just, when I go through trials and tribulations like that, the only thing I can think of is there's something bigger coming that I'm being prepped for. I just don't know what it is. And never want to think about what it could be. It's it's rough. Hi, Timmy. Nice to meet you. Ah, now you said that about twins. God got jokes. No. God got jokes, but he does know what you can and cannot handle. I ain't got no room for twins. I get twins, I definitely need a bigger house. So I ain't got no room for twins. And there's people out here doing it, but God need to understand, where's my support system? You want to send me twins? Send me a support system too. Okay? A physical one. Somebody can come down here and help me wrangle all these kids. Okay? So you got jokes. Get my back, God. Get my back, God. Get my back. I ain't gonna do it because I'm gonna tell you, for a while when I moved here, it just seemed like there was something in the water here. Like moms were trying to kill their kids and themselves too, left and right. It was story after story after story after story. I had to stop watching the news. It was bad. And I'm like, is something in the water here in Florida? Like, this is crazy. So I don't want to be like that. I've been very honest about, suffering from depression, major depression before. And I was very concerned about postpartum, which I did very, very good. But I think somewhere around the 1 year mark, with him, I started to feel that pressure, and 2 weeks after his 1 year birthday is when I lost my niece. And I think that was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. But I wouldn't call it major depression. I think, like I said earlier, it's like functional depression. And I don't think it's hard to get to major depression when you've been there before. So I've been working really hard. Pardon me, where I'm literally just trying to find my happy. Literally just trying to find my happy because I'm not feeling great emotionally and I'm just trying to do things. I'm buying things. I'm just trying to find things that I enjoy, to get out of that funk because I find myself slipping there. And I think I just keep myself off the edge. What is the age limit insurance cover? I think every insurance is a little bit different. I know, see, I'm on Blue Cross Blue Shield now. I have no idea. But when I was United Healthcare, the age limit with my own eggs is 44. I think the age limit with donor egg is 49, 50, either somewhere between 49 and 51, something like that. Might be 49, or it might just be 50. I can't remember exactly, but somewhere between 49 and 51 with donor eggs. But also keep in mind that my insurance is based out of Illinois because that's where my company is based out of. And Illinois is one of those states that have state mandated infertility coverage. So a lot of those guidelines are state mandated. So if you're in a different state, there may be different age limits, different insurance may have different age limits, but I think the age limits would probably be first guided by the state and then the insurance. Oh, thank you. Okay. You moved up here, so now y'all can see him. I gotta get him out of my bed. I keep saying I'm gonna go upstairs and lower his crib, which he's never slept in. He's never been in it. It's horrible. He's like a year and a half and he's never even been in his crib, which is crazy. He's been in the room, but he's never been in the crib. So I'll get there eventually. But he's getting too heavy for the bassinet that I have here. And I say bassinet, I know most bassinets, he would be too big for it anyway. This bassinet goes up to 25 pounds and it drops. So he can literally stand in it. And only like his head would be over the rim. The only risk of him falling out of it would be him climbing, which is kind of why I stopped putting him in it, because it drops. There's a bar like in the middle, and he's climbing on everything now. So he's found that bar, he steps on it, and he can get pretty high up where now he can flip over and out of the bassinet. So that's the only reason why I don't bother to put him in the bassinet when I put him to sleep anymore. So that's why he's here. But I got to get him out of my bed, because who knew something this small could take up so much space? Okay, he literally like pushes me off this bed. It's ridiculous. I constantly wake up in the middle of the night and move him over, but he moves so much, like he flips and he rolls, and it's like, how do you even get a good night's sleep when you move that much? Which is probably why I'm tired all the time, because I go to sleep with him and I wake up extremely tired. Meanwhile, he gets sleep at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I'm up moving around trying to. So, or I'm up late at night trying to do something for work. Now that he's been home with me for 3 weeks, I'm up late at night trying to get something done with work because I couldn't do it during the day. So I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. People keep saying you need a backup sitter. You need a backup sitter, and I do need a backup sitter. But in these trying times, I feel like a backup sitter is just more exposure, you know. And right now, I'm more concerned about exposure. So another thought about that, Ask TamikiaTT session that I mentioned earlier. You guys to jump on the lives with me, right? And you could be on video if you want, to like ask your question and for me to like answer. So if this new tech works out, that's something I can take advantage of. With a bad sleep, it will drain you. I kick even the cat out of my bed. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, it's rough because like I got the cat's here now. That's why the camera's shaking, because she's giving herself a bath and she's like right behind the tripod. So he would be in the bed with me, or even if he wasn't in the bed, cat would jump on and off the bed. And unfortunately, feeling that movement at my feet made me feel like he was falling off the edge of the bed. And so I would wake up trying to catch him. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I don't know if I read somewhere or if somebody told me that there is actually a chemical imbalance, or there's a like a coworker of mine was having a baby and he asked for some advice. And one of the pieces of advice that I gave him was to be gracious with his wife when she kicks him, when he doesn't wake up and the baby's crying. Because when you give birth, there is actually there's something hormonal that happens in the woman's body that makes her sleep lighter so that she can hear the baby crying and wake up. That doesn't happen for the man, but it happens for the woman. So I said, if she kicks you in your back because you're not getting up when the baby's crying, don't be mad at her, because she has a hormonal imbalance that makes her sleep lighter so that she can hear the baby when the baby's crying. And that all contributes to all the extra movement in the bed, right? So when the cat's rolling off the bed, that's something I'm going to feel because I'm not sleeping as deeply. And I'm already a bad sleeper. I don't sleep more than maybe 5.5 hours. straight. I always wake up. I can always get back to sleep, but I always wake up somewhere between 4 hours and 5. So I've always been a poor sleeper in general. That's why I always said if he gave me 4 hours of sleep, I would sleep well, because that's pretty normal for me. Unfortunately, I got that out the gate. He would sleep 4 hours or more at birth. Of course, I can't let him sleep that long until he got back to his birth weight. Once he got back to his birth weight, man, I let that boy sleep all night long if he wanted to. So, but I don't know if maybe I made him a bad sleeper, but he's not one of those kids that'll sleep for 16 hours straight. I kind of wish I had one of those. Some kid I can put to sleep at 8 o'clock and he doesn't wake up until 6:30 in the morning or something like that. I put him to sleep at 7:30 or 8. He's up at 12. You see now I don't know if you can see him, but he's moving quite a bit. He's probably going to wake up in the next half hour. Oh, I kind of had my energy back. I thought taking my supplements again would help with that energy. It's not. Still feeling sluggish, which uh, goes to what I'm trying to do as far as like the anti-inflammatory, and then working on what might be leaky gut. And it's not going to be horrible to work on leaky gut, because whether I have a leaky gut or not, to work on it would also help with all my absorption, right? Of all the supplements and stuff that I'm taking. So I don't know. I just feel mentally exhausted, which I think is worse than being physically exhausted. And there just hasn't really been any breaks, So um, trying to keep myself sane. So with him being home with me, we go for walks in the morning and in the evening. During the time which I would normally take him to the sitter, I can put him in a stroller and go walk around the subdivision, even if it's just a little half-hour walk. Just something, get my endorphins going. I'm not like trying to run or anything. I'm not trying to pace at the time. Just walking, just trying to move, because for a while I wasn't moving at all, like no exercise whatsoever. Um, so I do get out, not as regularly as I like. I know the first week that he was home with me, we got out in the morning and religiously Monday through Friday for like a half-hour walk. I think I got up to like a mile and a half, something like that, each time. And then the second week, I walked some, but I didn't get to walk as much because work was kind of crazy that week. And then this third week, also the same. Work was crazy. I'm up at odd hours of the night. I just couldn't move because I wasn't going to bed like normal. So I just didn't get to walking in. But now with my sitter, I was expecting one more week of him being home. But then she said her husband just tested positive, so that means an additional week. I definitely got to get us up and walk in this week coming, because I'm starting to get a little anxious again. And it does keep me sane enough. Like when he doesn't get out, he gets cabin fever and he's an absolute terror. And then I'm frustrated because I'm trying to focus on something and he's being a terror. And I'm also stressed out because I haven't exercised or gotten any kind of movement and all that. And then I feel guilty because I end up screaming at him. And I don't want to just scream at him all day long, you know? Oh, oh, sorry. Yeah. So I feel bad when I'm like, it's just like, I just want to like, why won't you listen? Why won't you listen? And like, there's a book out here. I've never read it. There's a book out here. It's called like Toddlers Are Assholes. They really, and you just, it's very frustrating. And I have to find a way to release tension. And unfortunately, I ain't got a man or a boyfriend. Maybe, I don't know. We all adults here, right? Every girl should have a bob. We know what a bob is. Every girl should have a bob. Whether you got a partner or not, every girl should have a bob. Hopefully, you know what a bob is. If you don't know what a bob is, let me know in the comments. If you do know what a bob is, let me know in the comments. But every girl should have a bob. I got a bob, but I gotta, I don't know. What y'all think? They just gotta be released some kind of way. Hey, Miss Lex Lex. Ooh, child, you done missed a lot. We've been on here almost 2 hours. But I was just asking everybody if they knew what a bob is. I said every girl should have a bob. You know what a bob is? Sure, sure. You got a box of bobs. I ain't mad at you, girl. I got a couple of bobs. Well, no, that one bob was broken. I had to get rid of that. I got maybe one bob right now. I only need one good one. Working from a new account. That's okay. Nah, I'm Miss Lex. You're the queen of bobs. Yeah, yeah. So it's okay. I feel like everybody went quiet to try to figure out what bob is. Are you all on Google trying to Google what's a bob? No, not Miss Lex. You said hairstyles. You know what the other bob is? Ooh, I swear this is not alcohol. This is just water. Mm. Oh, shucks, chart. Yeah, I need to get. That's my problem. It's the batteries. I gotta upgrade. Sure gotta upgrade. Man, oh man. You know, I just got some beauty products that all of them have like a little wireless charging. I'm sure they probably got something like that too. You need a lot of imagination using it. Why? Ain't nothing to imagine. It's just got to get the job done. You know, we're releasing tension here. It's just got to get the job done. Bobs are really good at that. Ooh, she said I got to do the. Okay. I mean, you know, maintenance men will work too. I don't know. And the times we in, I can't recruit any new maintenance man. But I don't really care for maintenance. I need feelings involved. If there ain't no feelings involved, I'd rather be bothered with a bob. That dude all the time. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with a maintenance man. They ain't made it that. I tried that once. I didn't really like it. Wasn't for me. Just, Just helping out. I know. I don't know. I know. I gotta work on my bob game. It's been a while. I will say I'm back out here on these dating sites. Although I'm like in and out. I got like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the whole dating. I'm not really finding anyone that's making me want to like work hard at the whole dating thing. Mostly, I think I keep coming across like more weirdos. Because I honestly feel like this is the worst time to be like online dating. I feel like thanks to COVID, everybody's on the dating site now. So this is more junk to sift through on those sites. Me too. No feelings, no need to be with someone, right? And no catching COVID. Like we're already in the age where new folks need to come with paperwork. Now they need to bring a recent COVID test when it took. And I was talking to this one guy, and he seemed nice enough, but he was just like, "Oh, you got to get out and do something fun." And I'm like, "Well, the pandemic makes that hard." And he's just like, I said, "Well, I do watch a lot of TV." And he said, "Oh, well, maybe we could watch, a Netflix movie or something together." A video chat and watch the same thing. And he was like, "Sit on the phone? Who does that?" And I was like, "It's not an odd thing to do. I do that all the time, with my homegirls." Like, what? I do it with family. I do it with friends. Like, what do you mean? We sit and watch the same show or watch the same movies. It's not an odd thing to do. He was just like, what? In the age of dating, maybe when everything goes, artificial intelligence. And I'm like, what? And I said, listen, I don't know you well enough to invite you to my crib. I don't know you well enough to go to your crib. What else we supposed to do? And he was just like, oh, I'll think of something. And then he came back with, oh, I know, I'll rent an Airbnb and we can hang out there. How was that any different than going to your house? Dude, bye. Like, just weird. It's weird. All right. Just a little cleanup, folks. Give me a second here. I'm not even in the mood tonight for no shenanigans. They're starting already. Um, all right. It has to be organic, yes. Oh wait. Sure, I saw a comment about a coupon that didn't make it in here for me to highlight. So I just want to say I saw it on the other page over there. But I can't highlight it, I think, because it kind of it flagged it or whatever. Um, yeah, the 50% coupon plus free shipping code if you need one. Yeah, go ahead and DM me that. If I get in another retail therapy mood, I'll check that out. All right. So let's see. It's good and bad. Now you can talk for longer because of the pandemic, or if they're creepy, it's an easy get out of date. It sure is. But when they don't want to do that and they still want to meet face to face, like, ew, what? No, bye, boy. He's more interested in the chill. I think so. Face to face, you're supposed to be trying to get to know me, dog. Like, bye. You don't even keep constant communication now. But you want me to meet you somewhere to watch a movie? Like, go ahead. Dating in this COVID time, I don't know. Yeah, so That's the thing. Like, are you swapping spit with somebody new without a recent COVID test? No, absolutely not. I don't know where you've been, who else you've been with, and having a recent COVID test in the last 3 days don't help me there either, because all that means is you didn't have it that day. That don't mean you didn't pick it up since then. You know. So, hi, Philip Library. Nice to meet you. Oh, sure. Ooh, he's weird. I have long distance movie dates all the time. Absolutely. Mike, bye. I'm not even interested. What's the topic? We just talking. It's been a while since I've done a live, so we just talking. We're just going with the flow here. We've been on here for about 2 hours, so we're just going with the flow. Don't judge me, but I met my maintenance man St. Patrick's Day. Sorry, this sorry, that's the glucose monitor. Mine ain't so great. I ain't gonna show you the number. It's horrible. But I need to scan it because it only holds 8 hours. I got a little freestyle Libre going on here. St. Patty's Day 2019. Well, Miss Lex, that was like right before, like right on the verge, of everything hitting. So you met him at the right time. No judgment. And if he's still around, then obviously that's working out for you. So go ahead, girl. High five. I went to a bar solo. He was also there. I went to his house the same night. We've been good ever since. I mean, no judgment zone here, girl. Personally, but I applaud those who do. So, double high five to you on that one. Good job, sis. That's how you be you. Men do it all the time. I don't see nothing wrong with it. If it's good for you, if you like it, I love it. That's it. My advice: go out solo, see what happens. We talked at the bar for 2 hours before I went to his house. You Googled him. All his info was online because he was a big time college basketball star. Oh, okay. All his recent info online. He out of college now, I hope. Not for me. I've done the one night stand a time or two. Was it truly a one night stand though? If you go back, it's not really a one night stand. I want to say I've done the first date thing, but we talked quite a bit prior to the first date, so I don't know that really counts. I don't know that really counts. Hi, Commander Jet. Just a bunch of ladies here and a few gents here and there, just holding regular conversation. But if you're under 18, you might want to keep moving because the conversation is adult. Not like super adult, but it can go there. Just a warning. Ooh, yes, do you, boo. Child, I was thinking I was being too grown that day. Hey, you know what they say? You want something different, you got to try something different. You got results. I'm not saying go out and do that every single night. That's what I like to call dangerous activity. But, sometimes you feel a vibe. And I say go with it. Why fight it? It's not a one night stand. If you go back, that's a whole bedroom set. I know, right? I know. For sure, for sure. Absolutely. That's what I'm like. I don't know. I've done the first date thing, but I can't truly say I've done the one night stand. I haven't done that. Even 7 minutes for me. That's convenient. 2 years in now. Woo, and no feelings? Nobody's caught feelings in 2 years? Oh, Commander Jet, you're 14. Okay. I suggest you leave the room then. Thanks for trying. I don't want to be responsible for corrupted minors. I don't think any of us here want to. But thanks for kind of trying to join in. Have a good night. Oh, that's sweet. I did it before once or twice. At this age, I'm watching my energy and the energy around. Don't have energy to waste. I hear that. I hear that. I don't know. I just feel like, what I'm about to be 41 now. I was a lot more reckless in my young age. There's a lot of stuff that I did as a youngin' that I wouldn't even think about doing now, just because the times are a little different. And people are very different now than they were 25 years ago. So people are a lot more bold and selfish and dangerous than they used to be. And I don't know if it's something in the water or what, but there's just some things I just don't feel safe even trying anymore. So I think it's important to catch a vibe, because I think since then I've been cussed out by too many men at the club. Just I've been called too many. I've been given too many. Well, F you, then bees. And then if I was standing next to a dude who I didn't even really know like that, then they would get an attack too. Like, this your woman? Well, maybe you should have asked that question before you asked me for my number that I then rejected, and then you got mad at me, and now you mad at me because I rejected you, and now you want to ask old boy if I'm his chick. A lot of sense you making. But I done had that happen way too many times. See, tell somebody no, they true character come out. It's dangerous out here, man. It's dangerous. Ah, you thought you looked up on the donut. I hear that, girl. I hear that. I hear that. Ah. Priest of fire. This woman seems very humble to me. Um, I'm not sure which woman you're referring to, Priest of fire, but let us know. Of course, we care about each other, but we're very independent, busy adults. I get it. I get it. I'm 37. He's 42. Okay. That's age appropriate. Nothing wrong with it. I'm crazy. I don't share, so I know a friend with benefit relationship was never in my cards, even when it would have been acceptable to be in these streets. Let me tell you, I've never been like, I'm like you, Shar. Like, I'm not interested in sharing, and like, I don't want to do none of that. But I will say there was a time in my life where I needed a distraction, and friends with benefit situation served me and served me well until it didn't serve me anymore. And then I calmly said, yeah, I'm good on this. But he had caught feelings a little bit, but not enough to make it a real thing. I knew he wasn't really done with his baby mama, so I made sure I didn't catch any feelings during the situation, and he wasn't trying to be anything more serious because he was kind of, still had one foot in with the baby mom, so it didn't work out. So much so that when I dropped him like a bad habit, and he realized he wasn't gonna get back into the fold. You know, he done turned around and married the baby mama, so clearly he wasn't done. So I guess that's what he's still doing with that. I don't know. I haven't kept up with him. As far as I know, he's still married to it, and I know they got at least one more kid, maybe two more by now. When he realized we were both at the bar alone, he begged me to sit with him. I was just trying to enjoy my St. Patty's Day. Mm-hmm. I'll go to a restaurant by myself. I'm never going to like a bar alone. But when I go to the restaurant by myself, I don't sit at the bar. Maybe I should sit at the bar instead of sitting at a regular table. I should probably do that. But I'm not alone anymore. So that ain't gonna work. Can't sit at the bar with baby G. We all done bad things. You know something more than like this and change that kind of thing. Absolutely. We're human. Christopher, we're human. We fall down, but we get up. Hey, chasing rainbows. How you doing? It's late, y'all. I guess ain't none of us going. We all heathens. We ain't going to church tomorrow. I know I'm not. Wow, you made a good decision leaving him. I was never technically with him though. You know, like we met. How can I explain how we met? His twin brother, his identical twin brother, worked at my job. He eventually started working at my job as well. His twin brother was married, got kids, and all of that. But when I was hanging around his twin brother, he was always like trying to hook us up. But he lived in like Miami. You know, we're here in Orlando. That's like 4 hours away. I wasn't interested in that. He moved here when his baby mama got pregnant. I guess that situation didn't really work out well for him. I honestly think she was trying to trap him, but that didn't work out so well for her. But he and I just started hanging out like on a friendship tip kind of thing. And he kept, you know, making it evident that he and his baby mama weren't together. And then, you know, he said the right thing, did the right thing. We slipped on in there into the friends with benefits situation. But I asked him clearly, because how he explained what was going on between him and his baby mom, because she wasn't really happy about him hanging out with me. And I asked him, I said, well, if the issue is that she wants to be married and you don't feel like you're ready, if she took marriage off the table, would you give it another shot? And his answer was yes. So I knew right there he wasn't done with her. He was just waiting to catch up to what she wanted. So I said, all right, well, no point in me getting my feelings. So we hung out, we enjoyed each other's company. And then when I didn't need the distraction anymore, I just said, this isn't what I want to do. So you don't seem like you want to be in a serious relationship. I don't want to do this whole friends with benefits thing anymore. So I'm going to stop this. Didn't stop us from hanging out, but he started to get jealous when I actually started dating for a serious relationship. That's how I knew his feelings were involved. So and I'm like, he made a comment like, "Oh, I need to make you my boo," and I said, "Well, you need to talk to your baby mama about that one." And then I ain't hear nothing else about being in a relationship after that, because he didn't want to have that discussion with the baby. And then sooner or later, he started doing things like when she didn't want him hanging out with me, like he called me and had me on speakerphone to tell me he wasn't going to talk to me anymore because he was going to focus on his family. And I said, that's what I said you should be doing. So good luck with that. And then 2 days later, he was at my door with vanilla ice cream and Dutch apple pie because he knew that's kind of like my thing, trying to apologize. Like, no, you're not going to use and abuse me like I'm some chick chasing you around. I don't deserve that. So you can't be trill with your baby mom. Like, do us both a favor and don't come over here no more. So he couldn't keep that together. Eventually, I just had to let him go. And, it was what it was. And I guess he went and focused on his family, and now they married. Good for him. More of the story, try stepping out solo. Yeah, sit at the bar. I don't know that I have the energy for that though, Miss Lex. My therapist told me that you have to put the same energy into dating that you do for your career. I don't have the energy to do both. I just don't. So I guess love. Nope, not going to church. Yeah, me neither, chasing rainbows. Me neither. Drop Jaden off at parents' night out. Parents' night out where? Where I'm dropping him off at? They do that? That's a school thing? Jesus says social distancing, no church. So you attending via Zoom is what you're saying, Shar. You just got to roll over and hit the button on the computer. I just got to my part-time job. I'm up until 7. Woo! My daddy worked the graveyard shift. I do not envy that, girl. I do not. Girl, I'm doing still priming 5. All right, all right. All right, all right. I'm hoping to get in there by like July-ish. So we won't exactly be cycle buddies, but we can maybe support each other. That's if I can drop this weight by July. I'm really gonna work harder. Have you ever heard of Ozempic? Yes. Yes, I have. Oh, thank you, Philip. Thank you. So victory, wash hands. Yes, ma'am. You deserve the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. We all get to choose. I've been through some things. I know what I don't want. We don't always have to know what we want, but it's important to know what you don't want, where your deal breakers are, so you don't waste too much time. So I at least know some deal breakers. I'm still adding to the list as we go along. But I mean, I've been cussed out on the dating site too. Like I had a guy, the dating site asked if you smoke, and his response was he's an avid smoker. And so instead of leaving him in the wind, I said, well, thanks for your response, but I'm not interested in someone who smokes. Ooh, I got cussed out dirty. And I'm like, all I said was I'm not interested in somebody who smokes. Like, I could have just hit block and went on about my business. But I didn't want to leave you in the wind. I did the adult thing, and then I got cussed out. What's up? Ooh, he cursed me out dirty. Oh, Jesus, as your career, I don't agree with that. If that was the case, I'd be single as a my boss every 2 days. Yeah, she said that's the amount of effort you need to put in. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. Like, God, I don't even think I work at my career that hard anymore. I gotta put that much effort into dating. But I do feel like dating is like job hunting. So it is kind of the same effort, right? You gotta take more interviews to find the job you want. And I just don't want to interview no more people. I need a matchmaker. That's what I need. Like, if any of y'all got some matchmakers, listen, I need a matchmaker that's going to want to match me with somebody, and I'll do a review here on the site if you matchmake me for free, because matchmakers are expensive. I'm just saying. But what I need is a matchmaker to sift through the shenanigans. Hi, Southern Boy Prepper. Nice to meet you too. Welcome to the fold. Yeah, Paris night out. 9 to 2 a.m. Ooh. A lot of places offered at least twice per month. Not now, though, right? Maybe when everything gets a little better, they might go back to that. That's the first time I ever heard of that. I don't know. Is that like leaving your kids with strangers? Do you know these people? How do you get to know these people? I got to do that when baby G get a little bit older so he can tell me what went down. I need him to be able to talk clear. You know what I mean? You can do. Well, we might be transfer buddies if I have to do a frozen transfer. Okay, okay, okay. Let's do that. Chase the rainbows. Woo! I'm trying. I'm working on it. See, I just drank all this water. This cup is 32 ounces or 1,000 milliliters. I just drank all of this. I think this was my second or third one for today, and I'm still feeling dehydrated, which is crazy. I'm not. It works. You know what's funny? My endocrinologist was trying to put me on Rybelsus, and my insurance won't pay for it. Like he gave me the beginning dose, which is a lower dose, but I developed the allergy, so I can't take it anyway. But I tried to stick to the beginner dose that they give you, which is a lower dose. The actual prescription is a higher dose. 3 weeks into the lower dose, I developed swelling in my eyelids, in both eyelids. So I said, "Ooh, I can't take this no more," because that's actually a reaction that's on there. And so they tried to get me Ozempic, Trulicity, a few of those other ones, and my insurance is one of those staged medications where they want you to be on something else before they'll pay for that. And they were coming out like the Rybelsus was coming out even with a $300 discount. Rybelsus was coming out to like $500 or $600 a month, something like that. Pardon me, Trulicity and Ozempic, I think they were like $1,200 a month. One was like $4,000 a month. It was real crazy. So I just said, forget it. I'll stick to the metformin. But diet works really good for me. Right now I just feel like my glucose is like all over the place. And even if I don't eat, my glucose will spike. And so I don't know what that's about. Part of that is probably I'm not getting the best sleep either. But I don't know. I need to, one, exercise more and more regularly, and then two, I think I got the whole leaky gut thing, which is why I want to fix that. So I think that will help calm some of that down. Hey, Kosha. Hey, boo. Yeah, it's originally for type 2 diabetes. Yeah, what's funny is I technically have not been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. My endocrinologist has diagnosed me with insulin resistance. What's the major difference? There's a very subtle difference between insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, but the treatment is the same. So I don't know. For whatever reason, my insurance is being real jerky about what medications they're going to pay for and not pay for. But they chip it in just fine for the little monitor thing, which is great because I don't have to prick myself. But unfortunately, I can't use this during pregnancy because it's not rated for pregnancy. So, when you're pregnant, you actually have to poke yourself, which is annoying. So, anyway, I just want to get it under control. Is what I want to do. Get it under control. Yeah, I'm over on my dating. Someone to talk to for the day. I would love that, Miss Lex. I would love that if I could just have somebody to just talk to. These dudes now, they want to go out. I think maybe because here in Florida nothing's locked down, so they want to be out and in person. I just want somebody to talk to. I can't even find that. Like, can we just talk on the phone like regularly? They don't even want to do that. They want to go straight to the Netflix and chilling. Okay. No smokers. Absolutely. I've never smoked anything a day in my life. Right? No cigarettes, none of the green stuff that comes from the earth. I've never smoked any of it. Now I have friends who smoke, the green stuff. I don't even care to be around that. I think it stinks. I don't like it, and I really don't like the smell of cigarettes. So I don't, it's just not my thing. It's not my thing. It's just not my thing, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. And if you tell me that you're trying, all right, well, when you finally quit, then look me up, because I don't want to be bothered with your trying either. I'm just trying not to waste your time. Like, you gotta cuss me out because I don't like that. Certain child care facilities offer. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that down here, even at the facilities, because I did look into some. When I was looking for childcare for baby G, I didn't see anything about the parent nights. That's why I wanted to do like my mom tribe, right? Because then I could get in with like a group of women, and then play dates or like go for a sleepover, something like that. But pandemic, so hard, so hard. Little gym offer parent survival night. Yeah, we got some of these little kid gyms around here. I don't know if they're open though now. Probably here in Florida, I wouldn't be surprised if they were open. I don't know how many kids are going. Those have been good for A1C. Yeah, that's why he wanted to put me on the Rebelsis, and then there was one that was an injection. I forget the name of that one. He said they were that one was new. Oh, weight loss clinic got financial approved. Oh, yeah. Shoot, my A1C that's that pandemic. That my A1C just be real great, just real great. And it's probably not gonna be the next time around. I'm looking at the numbers, it just stays high. All night long, level, but like high. But I gotta do better. I got to do better. I don't know. I've never heard anybody talk about it. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but I don't know. It's not like I've talked to that many parents because I don't know that many with kids this small. I don't know that many. Yes, yes. I love that. I probably could just take this. I still have insulin back when I was pregnant. That's probably expired. I could probably dose myself with insulin. The endocrinologist said that I could, like if my numbers were high, and I've just been trying not to. So maybe that's what I need to do. But now I just want to something that's homeopathic thing. I want to see if that can help. Like, if I can get back to exercise and move my body a little bit more regularly. Exercise definitely helps. The fact that I've just not been moving, but I don't know. Like if I go too long without eating, my glucose does tank as well. Like I mean, tank. Like I'm down into like the 70s. I go way too long without. But then I can eat something that doesn't even have to be have carb in it, and my spikes. It's kind of weird, but there's some kind of imbalance there. Yeah, I wish I could take a once a week shot. That would be great. Rebelsis was an everyday pill, that you have to take this week, but then not again. But when I developed the swelling on the inside of my eyelids, I said, no, no. called them and said, "Tell the doctor he took this for." And it wasn't, well, I'm trying to think of the actual outfit now. Not yet. I have strange usually reactions, medications, usually, yeah, usually that's one of those injections. That would be great. I wouldn't mind that. It's better than both. So, just that, uh, am I sitting too far back from the phone, or am I just talking too loud? Can you hear me a little better now? Jason Rivers. Maybe I just need to speak up. I don't know. I did lean back from the phone. I don't know about y'all. Get tired. Oh, sounds horrible. Maybe the internet, because it's 12:30. AT&T, AT&T being a jerk. I don't know. Does it still sound horrible? If it's sounding crazy, then it might just be time to sign out. Yeah, I think we've reached our limit. Stick baby dust in those TTC. I'm sorry about the volume.